Hello, my name is Lupe, and I want to share a quote that I think very well exemplifies finding the beauty in imperfection. If every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs. This this quote is derived from Steven Universe, which is a very popular children's cartoon, and more specifically is from the second episode of the first season. I paraphrase this quote as everything will not go according to plan, it won't always go according to plan, but shortcomings are necessary to finding new and unique alternatives. I came across this quote while when I was a kid and I was watching clips of Steven Universe on YouTube, and this was the very first clip I've seen. A bored 9-year old was inspired that day to not only watch the entire series, but to look back 6 years after and truly understanding what that quote meant. 6 years after the fact, I'm in high school. And in high school, I was essentially going through a lot of academic pressure to finish high school and go straight to a 4 year so that I can help out my parents down the engineering route. And this was also during COVID. However, the academic pressure did significantly decrease after I went through a life-changing event. On June 2022, my grandma's health declined a lot, which meant that almost our entire household was taking care of her and making sure that she's alive and healthy. And this went on for a year. We were taking care of her for a year. During this year, I was going to school, and between trying to pass my classes and helping out with my grandmother, every time I would leave school, I would go straight home and fill in for whoever needed to help my grandma. However, I started to treat school as more of a social escape because of a lot of mental and physical strain that I was going through. And everything pretty much hit me when she passed away on May 2023. And at this point, that was around my finals. And when she passed away, I essentially gave up on everything. I failed all my classes and I felt stuck. This entire plan of me going to a 4 year straight out of high school kind of broke down and I didn't know what else to do. That was until I talked with my cousin, who at the time was attending community college. And she explained to me that community college is not only a cheaper alternative, but it's also essentially a fresh start, especially with someone who wanted to go to a 4 year. At that point, I just wanted to pass my classes in high school so I can just go to Chabot, which was the closest community college nearby. And after I graduated, I still had that excitement, and that excitement was well deserved because after coming here, I feel like my passion for learning and community was not only revitalized, but also my entire journey was repurposed for both my parents and me as a goal. And I've come to realize that if everything had gone perfectly, I don't think I would be as fulfilled as I am right now. Reflecting on every positive change in your life, do you ever wonder or do you ever reflect if all of it was planned? There are so many instances in life where we come across harsh failure or losses, whether it be with family, your job, education, etc. And to understand the beauty of imperfection is to be accepting of change. If everything went according to plan for me, I'm not entirely sure of what could have happened. Regardless, I'd rather be in this reality, and this reality is where I'm happiest. Because if every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.